So there has been a lot of news about Olise to Manchester United from credible sources. It seems to be a transfer really heating up, but also Branthwaite to Man United is heating up, and we will get into all the latest transfer news on those players and other players that have been linked to United to sum up for you guys. But there are also some reports on Jadon Sancho, which in my opinion really highlights some of maybe the issues that has gone on within the Manchester United dressing room. I will get into that after the transfer news. And then, of course, we've got an update on Malacia. If you remember, do you remember Malacia? He is a player for Manchester United. I don't know if you remember him. But yeah, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe down below if you're new. Let's get into the news. Screenshot of this, Muppeteers to the video. They do get a little bit of information, and they spoke about Olise. They're one of many sources to speak about Olise, and Jack has summed up what they said in the video. And he said that they were saying that United are very interested in Michael Olise. They're saying that Olise would definitely choose United over any other option, and his release clause is around £50 million, which could make the deal easier, and it can be structured, and he's the most likely right-wing signing. We know Manchester United want a right winger. We know there's a focus on domestic talent. We know that Omar Berrada wanted to bring Olise to Man City. He's now coming to United. We know Dan Ashworth's had his eye on Olise. He's coming to United. We've been linked to Dougie Friedman that likes domestic talent. Olise. Ineos want to go for domestic talent. We need a right wing. He's 21 or 20. He's 22, I think now. I think Olise is what Man United are going for. I think the release clause, the fact that he's a Manchester United fan and would turn down Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, any club for Manchester United, and the fact that we want a right winger and there has been contact. I think for me, Olise probably happens depending on injuries. It was said by other sources that United are interested in making the Crystal Palace winger Michael Olise one of the first signings of the Ratcliffe era, and he's been the first major transfer target we've been linked to since Ratcliffe's come in. It was said a move for Olise has been ruled out in January. This was news that came out in January, like 27th, but Man United have identified him as a summer transfer target and other stories. I want to dive through all the news on Olise a little bit quick. So again, Michael Olise prefers to move to Man United over Chelsea, was said by one source, because he's a lifelong Manchester United supporter and he's aware both clubs are interested but loves United. Plus Chelsea keep buying wingers and wingers and wingers. Chelsea buy a striker. Michael Olise's options for this summer are Manchester United and Chelsea. He wants to join United and will be available for £50 million is also what the Muppeteers are saying. It was said as well by the Mail that Manchester United have discussed Michael Olise and Pedro Neto as potential winger signings this summer. And it was said as well that Michael Olise has been identified as key to vitalising Ten Hag's woeful attack. So that was sort of reports on Olise. The big worry with Olise is injury trouble, but this was his stats last season. Played 3,000 minutes last season, didn't really have any injury issues. 11 assists, 2 goals at age 19-20 or 2021 last season. So did really well last season for Crystal Palace, who don't score lots of goals. Played 3,000 minutes of football. I think this season he's had an injury. It's been managed badly. The injury's got worse. And that seems to be the problem. It was also said by the Muppeteers that Michael Olise is one that we're interested in, but they did say there's indications that United would be looking at Jadon Branthwaite for the centre-back role this summer. So what is the sort of news on that? It was confirmed again by Samuel Larkers today that Everton's Jadon Branthwaite and Amadou Onana are players that United continue to monitor. I like Amadou Onana, but I'm not 100% convinced. I think that Matt Weaver's got a higher technical ceiling and might be less of a risk, especially because I think Everton know that Man United and Arsenal, a few players have been looking at Amadou Onana. I worry that they might outprice it. I looked at Branthwaite, I thought, yeah, this guy's a baller. I looked at Branthwaite, I like Branthwaite, I've been moved by Branthwaite. I don't think Amadou Onana has done much more than James Garner for me. I know he's the kind of profile we need, but I would prefer Hulman. I personally prefer Matt Weaver would be my first choice. Everton's Jadon Branthwaite, 21-year-old centre-back, was immense at PSV, 2-footed, can play left centre-back and play right centre-back. Is a great box defender, especially with Varane and Maguire set to leave. I think that Jadon Branthwaite is the box defender United need to be perfect. Other players United reported looking at has been Bakayoko, Xerxes, Olise, and Nico Williams. Again, this was said by other sources. Nico Williams or Olise, they're my first two. I think Williams could be less of a risk with injuries, but I don't actually think that Olise is an injury-prone player. I like them both. Xerxes can play more centrally. I do like Xerxes. Branthwaite I'm a big fan of. Bakayoko I like. Amadou Onana I like, but they're not in my top options. Now, I want to get into the Sancho report, what was sort of said on Sancho, because I think this highlights a little bit of a player problem we have. It was said that Jadon Sancho does not want to return to Erik Ten Hag, and he blames Ten Hag for the downturn in his career. And for me, if that is true, now if that is true, and that is the case, he won't return to Erik Ten Hag and he thinks it's Erik Ten Hag's fault that his career has gone downhill, that sums up the problem of our squad. Always blaming someone else, never their fault, never taking accountability. You weren't good under Ollie, mate. You weren't good under Ragnick, mate. Gareth Southgate didn't play you in the Euros for 4 years and joined because you weren't impressive enough. You've not shown enough in training. You've not hit the levels in training. You weren't good under Ollie. You had 2 or 3 games that were good under Rangnick, but you weren't particularly impressive under Rangnick. We gave you that off because it was the first season and we reported time to adapt. Your second season, Ten Hag wanted you. He was going to use you. He let you take a 4-month break when he could have used you. Ten Hag wanted to get the best out of you, so he let you take 4 months off to get back in the best physical and mental state. Okay, yes, Ten Hag played Anthony over you, and I think you're a better player than Anthony. But if you're blaming Ten Hag for your career not going super well and you not being super impressive at Dortmund, maybe you need to look at yourself and say you didn't play 4 months of last season because you needed to get back to your best, and Ten Hag let you do that. You haven't played 4 months of this season because you refused to play. The reason you were dropped in the first place is because Ten Hag thought you could show more in training, and instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to show more in training and prove it wrong," you just thought, "Nah, screw that." You weren't great under Ollie. You weren't great under Rangnick. If that is the case, you've got yourself to blame. I feel like players saying, "Oh, you know what, Erik Ten Hag ruined my career." Oh my God, we're playing awful football under Erik Ten Hag. I want Erik Ten Hag to succeed. I'm Erik Ten Hag in, but the football we're playing is crap football. It is boring to watch. But any player thinking, "Yeah, I'm bad because, you know, Erik Ten Hag and Erik Ten..." No. Dalot's good. Højlund's good. Maino and Garnacho are good, and they're kids. Højlund's a kid. You know, come on, think about it. Yeah, you might sort of suit Erik Ten Hag ball, and yeah, some managers might get better out of you, of course. Responsibility as a player and say, "I've not been good enough. I need to step up." Not blame one manager for your downfall. You know, some players have been under multiple managers and been poor under all the managers. Some managers, for me, yeah, I think that's silly. I think that's absolutely silly, and I hope that's not true. But if that is the attitude, that's why we don't want to United. Anyone that thinks that they're bad because of Ten Hag, any player, get them out. Get them out. And I think, yeah, Ten Hag could be getting better out of some of these players, but it's not just, you can't just blame everyone else but yourself. That's not the attitude. And that, for me, shows a big problem with the player mentality at United, the dressing room. It was said that Dortmund's plan with Sancho was to vision another year on loan and a potential deal involving a player loan. I want Sancho sold in the summer. I want money for Sancho. I want an actual bid to come with Sancho. Not been super impressive on loan at Dortmund, so our chances of getting an actual bid for Sancho are definitely maybe a lot lower than we would have hoped, especially because Dortmund don't want to spend loads of money on Sancho. Sancho's got big wages, so I think he'd probably prefer a loan, so he'd have to take a big wage cut. It's one of those where hopefully that we can sell Sancho, we can get money for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out on loan again next year because we're crap at selling. He's been slow at Dortmund. Dortmund probably feel he needs another year to get up to scratch because he's very behind because he barely played football last season because he took such a long break and he basically refused to play football 4 months this season. He's getting better as he plays for Dortmund, but he's not sharp. He's not good. Yeah, I mean, for me, I hope that Sancho becomes really good for Dortmund and finishes his loan spell well, and then we can sell him. Going into other news, because Tyrell Malacia, the forgotten man, it was said breaking Tyrell Malacia could miss the entirety of the season for United, and Romano confirmed we will go for a new young left back no matter what happens with Tyrell Malacia. Now, I think United's approach this summer is right wing striker, 6/8 hybrid that can play in midfield that is physical, a centre back, and a fullback, particularly a left back. Now, there was also a focus on right back, but I think with Dalot being very good, there's not too much of a focus on right back unless maybe Wan-Bissaka is sold. Again, I think what Manchester United do in the transfer window will depend on how many players they can sell. I think the work we can do will massively depend on, can we sell you? Can we sell you? Like, if we can sell Lindelof, if we can sell McTominay, Eriksen, Casemiro, Anthony, Sancho, there's money there. But we can't necessarily sell Sancho. We can't necessarily sell Anthony. McTominay should be easy to sell, but he might offer more than other midfielders. Ten Hag might say, let's keep McTominay. Casemiro could go to Saudi. Saudi might decide they don't want him. Lindelof could be easy to sell. We don't know. Maguire could be easy to sell, but he won't want to stop, cut his wages. He could stay. That's the problem we're at. I think there's 5 or 6 positions United want to address this summer, but our chances of doing that depend on who we sell, and hopefully we can sell well and efficiently. And I like him, like Malacia. He's a great player, and I don't want to sell him because he's not played this season. But if he can't stay fit, if his availability is poor, you do have to look at it and say, maybe we do need to sell Malacia here. Anyway, people, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you found it informing. Just summing up all the latest Manchester United news in about 10 minutes for you guys. If you have not already, please hit the like button. Please subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.